Not many people can say that they have played for the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, but this guy can. Ladislav Smid is my guest on today's podcast.
Reluctantly.
This podcast brought to you by homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals, and thompsonmortgages.com. They take care of the financials. You search for your perfect home. The combination of these two sponsors has helped me facilitate multiple real estate transactions, including my most recent move right here in 2025. Now, here's today's show.
Reluctantly.
Ladi, good to see you.
Thanks
very much for joining me here on the Reluctantly podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. I was looking forward to it, so thanks again.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, we have the good fortune to see each other on almost a weekly basis when you come in to do the show with Kevin Carius on Sports 1440. So it's kind of an offshoot of, I guess, an off-season sort of occupation for compared to what you do for 9 months or 8 months out of the year, right?
Yeah, I mean the hockey season is very busy. I'm kind of happy that right now it's a little bit slower, but on Thursday I'm actually going back to Czech. I'm involved with the U18 national team, and we're gonna be preparing for Hlinka Gretzky Cup. So it's gonna pick up real quick, and I'm looking forward to it. But last kind of month and a half was kind of nice, just more hanging out, not being as much on the ice, and just enjoying the family a little bit more.
Well, there's 3 or 4 things to talk about right there. The Gretzky Hlinka, the U18, and your history, coaching it now and having participated in it back in the day, back in Czech. Also, your job as development coach for the Edmonton Oil Kings, and as a kid growing up in Czech and going through all of your minor hockey, and then the U17, 16, 18. All of that, and then making the NHL. Did you ever think that you were going to be on the radio in Canada?
Never. It's been honestly, before I accepted the job on the radio, I was so nervous when they asked me first. I was like, it's my second language. I don't even know the first thing about hosting or co-hosting the show, but I like to do new things, kind of get out of the comfort zone. That's how you get better. That's how you evolve as a human being. And Kevin and Brandon Douglas, they made it very, very easy for me. And I love going there every Thursday and interacting with them, talking hockey. That's something I grow up doing, and my dad coached and played. So hockey was always hot topic in our household in Czech. But I could never imagine, I remember, or my dad remembers, he told me the story when I was 9 or 10, and I was telling him that I'm going to make the NHL, I'm going to buy him a new car. And he was like laughing. He's like, yeah, whatever. And I did make the NHL, and I did buy him a car. So it all came, true. And now we laugh about it. But yeah, now I'm retired, co-hosting radio show, coaching. It's busy, but I love it. Like I said, you always try to better yourself, and my hockey career is over now. I'm just trying to do something else.
How difficult was it for you? Mentioned English as a second language. How difficult was it for you to learn English, or did it come pretty easily because of your association with players from all kinds of different countries in hockey? Did it come late? Did it come before you graduated, or was it once you got to North America?
I had English at school since, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade. But honestly, the English at school in Czech is so specific. It doesn't really prepare you for conversations and stuff like that. It's very proper English. I'd say British English. So when I first moved over, when I was 19, it was a struggle. Like I knew some words, but I couldn't have a conversation. I was super shy. You wouldn't think that now, but I was just really worried about screwing up sentences and people making fun of me. So I wasn't talking much. Like I said, I was in Anaheim organization. They sent me down to Portland, Maine. Kevin Dineen was my head coach, my first head coach overseas, and he saw I was struggling with it a little bit. So the team hired a tutor, and yeah, I had, I think once or twice a week, I had sessions with her. she made me read these kids books. There was more pictures than words, and it's funny now, but it helped me big time. And also I was watching a lot of movies with subtitles, and it all helped. And then obviously in daily interactions in a locker room, kind of the motivation, like I bet a lot of European players are going to say the same. Like before they came to North America, they didn't have much experience with talking English, a lot of them. And like when you first get into the locker room, like you're a young guy, but guys are talking about you, and you can hear once in a while your name out there. So like it was my extra motivation to understand what they're saying about me. And you know what, like the guys were really good to me as well. First month or two, they test you a little bit, obviously rookie and all of that. But when they see that you really want to learn English, and like you work your butt off on the ice, off the ice, they respect you and they try to help you. And that was the case with me.
Plus, you're in good company. I mean, you consider some of the people who've played for the Edmonton Oilers over the years. Jari Kurri was very much in the same boat as you, where he knew very little English coming over. Esa Tikkanen came over to the Edmonton Oilers, and he spent how many years here? He still doesn't know how to speak English.
That would drive me crazy. Like honestly, like when I go somewhere, I want to learn the language. And I know, like I'm from Europe, so I know a lot of soccer players. So when they go to different countries, they have to learn at least the basics of the language: Italian, Spanish, German. So when I move here, like I feel like it's sign of respect to the to the players, to the team, to the organization, that I'm here. I want to work. I want to be part of the team, and that's part of it. You just have to learn. Otherwise, like I don't like to feel silly out there, especially when the coach is explaining drills, and then you don't want to be the guy, the drill killer that kills every drill, right? So like I said, I use this as a motivation.
You must have met Gizmo Williams with your time in Edmonton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's another perfect example. He's been in North America all his life. He doesn't know English.
A little bit. He does a little bit, though.
I've never been able to understand Gizmo Williams. Not a damn word.
That's funny.
So you mentioned you're going over to do some work with the U18 kids over in Czech for the Gretzky Holinka Cup. You participated in the U16, U17, U18 in Czech. What was your minor hockey like over there? Did your dad coach you all through minor hockey, or did you have
never? So my dad is like pretty big name. Like we're a well-known family. My dad play for a national team, but he's older. He's like 87. So he never left Czech because he would have to defect from communism. So he played his entire career in Czech. He played for a national team. He's got a bunch of medals from Olympics and World Championship. Then he coached. So like I grew up being kind of mentored by him, but he never coached me. He never wanted to coach me. He always like came to the games, watched the games. He was super hard on me, but he would always drop me off at the rink, bring me there, tell the coach, hey, he's all yours. I won't say anything. Like whatever you say, he has to obey, kind of like an old school stuff. We'll talk about hockey at home, but like when he's here, he's all yours. You're his coach. And if he misbehaves, you have a green light to smack him. That was my dad's word every single time. Really, really Eastern European, old school. But that's how I was raised. But he never coached me. We would talk after the games, how it was, good, bad, bunch of funny stories about him. Like he would always like whistle me down between the periods, like when I was like, I don't know, 8 until I was like maybe 14, 15. And he would like either give me shit or he would be like, good, or work on this. If he would be super mad, he wouldn't even talk to me. It would be like a quiet house for like a week. Like, so my mom would go between me and him. And like, at first it like was hurting my feelings when I was younger. But when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was like, well, screw it. Like, I'm not going to talk to you either. So it was like, at times he would come to our household and they would be pretty quiet days, nights. And until like one of us would like break the ice and like get talking again. And yeah, but it wasn't always easy. But like, I'm glad my dad raised me the way he did. Like, obviously, it wasn't. I wish he would maybe be a little bit softer at times. But now I'm coaching kids that I don't want to call them too soft, but I don't like that word. But they are very emotional and very sensitive to things, and my dad raised me different ways, so I think I could protect myself a little bit more, especially later in my career. But yeah, it wasn't always easy, but it prepared me for that next jump and make it that jump to the pro hockey and then eventually to the NHL.
You said your dad's 87?
Yes.
So he must you were born when he was 47 or 48 years old?
48, yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Late.
that's
Very
late to be a dad.
I know. I don't know how he does it. Like, I told my wife we are not having another kid. I'm pushing 40, and I cannot imagine just back into the diapers again. And my dad was doing it when he was like 48, then 50, and but it's a bit different. Like, back in the day, women had to take care of the household and all that stuff like that. Like kind of Eastern European thinking. Now it's totally different. But my mom took care of everything. My dad was the head of the house and was making the money, and my mom was taking care of the kids and cooking and all that stuff. Right now, like when I talk about it, it's crazy because the time has changed a lot, but that's how it was, that's how we were raised.
Are you the youngest in your family?
Yeah, I have a brother and a sister, and yeah. Well, so my dad's got a daughter from his first marriage. My mom has a son and a daughter from first marriage, and I am the only child between me and my dad.
Okay, I gotcha.
But my mom is 20 years younger than my dad. That's the important thing that I have to mention. It was probably a good idea initially when they were getting together, but now she has to take care of him, and like he's in a decent shape, but he slowed down quite a bit. He's 87, so.
Is he still living in Czech, or is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. They were here 2 months ago. They stayed for 5 weeks. He told me this is his last visit because we just moved. We just moved houses, so I wanted them to see the new house and be with the kids a little bit. And yeah, so they came. Yeah, it was rough. The first week or two, like he was a little bit confused walking around the house and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he loved it. He saw the house. He interacted with the kids. Same with my mom. So they had a blast.
What year was the communist end?
They came in 68, but even before that, like the communism was pretty big, and Czech, like the politicians were pretty tight with Russia. So if somebody would try to leave the country, they would have to defect, and it had an effect on the whole family. So if you had a job in like at school, let's say, or somewhere in the government, they would like right away fire you. The family was kind of screwed, and you couldn't come back until like I think the 89th. So, or they made some exceptions, but really till 89 you wouldn't be able to come back. Otherwise, they would put you in a jail.
I don't remember their last names, but when I was a kid in fifth, sixth, and seventh grade, we lived at the University of British Columbia in student family housing, and the student family housing was basically a couple of horseshoes in the one Salmo court that we lived in. And inside that student family housing, there were families from all over the world. And there was a family, I remember their first names, Peter and Sonia, and their son, Uli, who I hung out with. They escaped communist
really
Czech. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't easy times. Like I know my parents, like even people in Czech, like we struggled. Well, first after the Second World War, like during the Second World War, we were occupied by Germans. Then few years, okay, and then the Russians came. So we were always like I think we are pretty proud people. Sorry for a lot. We were pretty proud people, but we were always occupied, and like yeah, it was tough times. Like people went through hell, and the like I said, the communism was really hard on some people, and the politicians were not helping the cause, like being really on the Russian side, back in the day. So you didn't even have, from what I know from my parents, you didn't have anybody who would stand up for you. So.
Right. So you being born in what, it must have been 85, 86 then, if you.
Yeah, 86. It was Czechoslovakia, and then
Yeah.
in 93 we separated from Slovakia, so now we are Czech. And
Growing up there,
sorry, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I'm just gonna take this crazy dog. Sorry,
That's okay.
come here. No more barking.
What kind of dog are they?
Dachshund and what is he? Pomeranian.
Oh, okay.
Little dogs, but they think they're 100 pounds.
As you were growing up as a kid in Czech, and then telling your dad that you're going to make the NHL and buy him a car, and all of the things that go along with that, who were the players that you looked up to that may have been Czech themselves, or who were you looking at beyond where you were to model your game after?
I always loved Nick Lindstrom. I was a big hockey player, my favorite of all time. I love watching him. Obviously, I wasn't even in the same galaxy skill-wise or talent-wise, but he was one of my ultimate favorite. But the guy I really liked growing up was Tomáš Kaberle. Like in Czech, growing up and following the NHL was really hard. There was like only few programs. Like I think once a week there was like a hockey TV show from the NHL, and then there was these magazines, pro hockey magazines. So like we would have posters or like stuff like that, reading about these guys. But Tomáš Kaberle was like my ultimate, like a favorite Czech player growing up. And then when I was, I think, I want to say 17 or 18, I got a chance to play for men's national team. Like I got invited for one tournament or like a couple of games, and he was my D partner. And my first D partner in the national on the national team. So it was unbelievable feeling. And I'm pretty sure that was a lockout year. So when I got invited, like they back in the day they like to invite like one or two younger guys. So I was one of them on the defense, and like they were like Tomáš Vukun, Marek Židlický, Tomáš Kaberle, Plekanec, like these like kind of like big names for us, right? They won the world championship. Some of the guys were at the Olympics. So for me as a 17, 18-year-old walking into the locker room, I was speechless. And then having Tomáš as my D partner was like mind-blowing for me at that time.
I can only imagine how much of a sponge you were for that short period of time, just taking in everything you could possibly take in and watching every action.
Yeah, it helps you, right? Like it helps you as a young player. You don't understand kind of what it takes to be a professional, and like what steps you have to take to become professional, and what's going to get you there. The next step, the NHL or AHL, then NHL. And like you watch just the practice habits of these guys was ridiculous for me at the time, right? Like I was playing in Czech and for the Czech team, and I don't want to take anything away from the players there. They're good players, but not all of them are super hardworking or stuff like that. So during the lockout, when all these guys came back from the NHL, it was like mind blowing, like how they were. And this was just the national team. During the lockout that I had on my team, I was already playing pro since I was 16. But during the lockout, we got Jaro Modry, Yuri Fischer, we got Verbata, Nederost, I think Nielička. We got like 6 NHLers. They just came in and just kind of changed the culture around. Like practices were better. Everything like on and off the ice, you were just working hard. That was non-negotiable, especially Jaro Modry. He's my friend until now, and he helped me big time. He kind of took me under his wing and showed me kind of what it takes to make the NHL. So I'm thankful to him. He didn't have to do that, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. No matter your skill level, you get put in a pool where there's players that much better than you, then you tend to elevate to that level. And
I agree.
And it can go vice versa as well. So it's really great to see people who have the drive and the passion and the potential to elevate it to that point.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by ThompsonMortgages.com. Not limited to just mortgages. They also provide insurance. Almost any service associated with a home or building purchase can be done in-house. And for anything beyond that, they have an extensive network of professionals at their fingertips. consolidations, loans, mortgages, legal services, accounting services, financial planning, insurance. They are your one-stop shop. How do I know this? Well, Mike at ThompsonMortgages.com has helped us out with our mortgages for the last few real estate transactions that we have made. You can be confident that they will work hard to ensure all your mortgage and insurance goals are fulfilled. Check them out for yourself. ThompsonMortgages.com.
Reluctantly.
Everybody in Canada talks about putting on the jersey and representing the country. Is it the same thing in Czech? It's just you want to play for your country and go to the World Championships or the Olympics?
Oh, for sure. Nothing better. There's no better feeling. I never won a Stanley Cup, so maybe that would trump it. But honestly, like playing for my country at the Olympics 2014 was the best experience ever. And having my whole family there, my dad, who represented Czech at the Olympics, I think 60 something back in the day, or and he won the bronze medal back in the day. But just seeing him there, my mom, everybody there was just the best feeling. And also you're in a group of guys, like I grew up with some of them playing for junior teams or national junior teams, and then seeing your kind of role models too, like the older players on the team was amazing. And then is the Czech culture, like a lot of humor, like you're on the different teams in the NHL, but then when you go to Olympics or World Championship, you're all together. It's the same language, right? Like it's our first language. You just feel a little bit more comfortable. And like I said, great experience.
When you're playing in Czech as a U16, U17, U18, is that I'm imagining that's similar or the same sort of thing as junior hockey over in Canada, but Czech's a relatively small country. It's not like you can have a Western League and an Ontario League and the Q. And what do they have that's comparable, if anything, in Czech with that you were part of the development program?
Well, so like I was everywhere ahead of time. Like I was everywhere like 2 years, 3 years younger. So like I didn't feel the need to make the switch to the CHL, which now I see I should have, because it would prepare me better for the NHL. Like language barrier, getting used to the smaller ice, the culture, like everything plays into it, right? So like I would have made that change, if anything. But when I was there, like I said, at 16 I played a few games with the pro team, and then 17, 18 I was a full-timer. Like I was playing top 4 minutes, so I didn't feel the need. I was like, well, I'm playing pro at that age. I'm playing against men. Little did I know back then that like the language is a big thing. Smaller ice is a big thing. Defending, like moving the puck is like totally different than playing in European style of hockey, right? So like I would have probably made that change at least the year before I came and play in AHL. I should have probably came to CHL to experience it for a year.
Was it known to you that there was a bantam draft and that you could be drafted into the Canadian Hockey League?
Yeah. My agent told me that they would take me in first round, because already I was projected at that age, like 16, 17, and there were like the scouting reports that I'm going to be probably a first rounder. So there was a chance. There was a team, I think in OHL, I can't remember who it was, that they would take me in. But we made ultimate decision that no, I'm going to stay in Czech. But I stay in Czech because I play a pro league. If I would play junior, the league back then was pretty good. Not comparable to CHL. CHL is the best junior league in the world. There's no doubt about it. But I play, like I said, I play pro. I thought that was better playing against man. Now, like I don't think the junior league in Czech got better. A lot of players go to CHL now. Whoever stays, I don't think the league is. Yeah, you can find decent players, but it's a lot of teams. It's not like the level of hockey. I don't find that like comparable to CHL, not at all. Like I said, there's some good players. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think the league is that great.
At 16, 17, and 18, were you pulling in a paycheck playing as a pro against men?
Yeah, I was. When I was 17, I think I was making more money than my parents. So yeah, I was making decent money. I could buy myself a car when I was 18 right away. Like I was making decent money. Like I said, I was playing top 4 minutes. At first, like honestly, the first year I was making the minimum, and then I switched agents, and the agent looked at my contract. It's like, "Are you kidding me? Like you're playing like top 4 minutes. Like what are you doing here?" I was like, "Well, I didn't know. Like, you just play hockey because you love it. You're a young kid, but the agent, they think about money. You need to get compensated, and they get money from it, right? So he negotiated a different contract, and yeah, like I said, when I was 17, 18, I was making more than my parents together.
So then North America happens for you.
Yeah.
You get drafted by Anaheim, and then you play in the AHL. And it's funny that you brought up not playing junior in North America. I was actually going to ask you about that and how it affected you, but you covered that really, really
Yeah.
well. Especially the language barrier part of it, which it's something I probably wouldn't have thought of, but
Yeah.
it makes complete sense that would have been a factor in it. So you play in the American Hockey League for Portland?
Portland, yeah, Portland, Maine, Portland Pirates.
What was the AHL like for you coming from playing pro in Czech to pro in North America?
A huge jump. The amount of hits I got in the first 3 months of the season was incredible. Like I was hanging to the onto the puck. Like AHL. Like we are talking 20 years ago. It was a jungle. Like there was like 4 or 5 fights. When I first got there, the biggest rivalry was against Providence. Providence had tough guys. We had tough guys. Like we played. I'm pretty sure we played 4 exhibition games against Providence. Then we played 8 games against them within like our division, and then we got them in the first round of the playoffs. I'm telling you, I don't think there was ever less than 3 or 4 fights a game. And like when I saw it first time, even exhibition game, I was like, where am I? This is crazy. It's like everybody's like gloves throwing, everybody's challenging me like left and right. I'm like, I'm 19. Like I couldn't even speak English, right? So the guys had to like step in and was like, hey, leave him alone. It was nuts. It was nuts, a big jump. And like I said, I was like in Czech or like in Europe, like the ice surface is so big. So like if you don't have to, you don't. If you move the puck quickly, you don't get touched. If you don't want to play physical, you don't have to play physical. Here it was like, boom, like
And
right in there, AHL, right? Guys are trying to make the NHL. They're trying to make their names for themselves. For chicken hard, like I was trying to like dangle somebody or make a like cutback. Boom, somebody put me on my ass. But that's how you learn. That's how it was. Like I think I got like 2 or 3 concussions that year. It's nuts. I remember Ben Eager, my former teammate. We became teammates afterwards when he joined the Oilers. But I remember he had one of the biggest hits on me, like popped my helmet, my gloves. Like I didn't even know where I was, honestly, because I made a stupid cutback on him when he was forechecking. But stuff like that, like obviously you don't want to get injured or anything, but stuff like that kind of makes you better, and you learn from it.
Reluctantly.
this podcast is reluctantly sponsored by the real estate team of homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals. If you are buying or selling in the Edmonton region, Shauna and Bonnie can handle everything with strong industry connections to mortgage brokers, home inspectors, lawyers, and contractors to support every step of the process. The market is very active right now. We recently listed our home again, and it went from MLS to closing conditions in 8 days. Now, of course, results may vary from property to property, but Shauna and Bonnie have been our trusted real estate advisors through buying and selling no less than 7 properties. I've recommended them to many friends who want real, relatable people with a personalized, hands-on approach. New home, investment, recreational, even commercial properties. Homegirls.ca is the website. Email info is right there. And the phone number is 780-517-HOME.
Reluctantly.
And then you ended up incorporating that into your game, becoming more physical of a defenseman when you were playing full-time minutes in the NHL.
Yeah, you know what? Like I was always, I was a high draft pick, and everybody thought I'm gonna be this point producer and all that stuff. But honestly, like at that level, it wasn't happening for me, and I wasn't producing points, and I wanted to stick around. Like I wanted to be a full time NHL player, especially when I came to Edmonton. So I had to make a change in my hockey. That I wasn't gonna be, and it's hard. Like I was brought up my whole junior time or like PB, everything. I was producing points. I was the offensive guy, power play, everything. But then I kind of hit the wall, like between AHL, even in AHL, I had decent points, and then NHL, it wasn't happening. And like I wanted to stay in the NHL. I was still young, so I made it. I had to make a choice, and I did, and kind of focus on my defensive side, blocking shots, being really good on a PK, kind of shut down defensemen. And these days, everybody wants to be Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes, but you still need guys, 4, 5, 6. Who can defend, be good on a PK, play against top opposition, make it hard, be physical, once in a while drop the net. So it's not very typical for European guys, but I made a choice, and I was lucky enough to play, at least 10 years in the
Yeah.
NHL.
And I suppose, not being typical of that, every once in a while you surprise somebody if you're willing to drop the mitts and they go, holy shit.
Well, I was just like getting sick and tired of being called soft too. Like soft, you're big and you're soft. So I'm like, okay. I put on some pounds, and like I was taking some boxing lessons. So like you said, like nobody really, and I don't think I ever got killed. I didn't win all the fights, but I don't think I ever got killed. And that's another part that you earn the respect of your teammates and even players around the league. I wasn't probably the most like guy from the opposition, but I didn't really care. I was trying to do my job and being there for my teammates.
You never ended up playing a game for Anaheim after they
No,
drafted you. You just played in the AHL, right?
uh, yeah, it was, it was what it was. Like I was excited to hopefully, and I had a good year. The first year in AHL, I had a good year. They were happy. I had a good exit meeting. There was a plan for me that hopefully I would get some games next year. But Chris Pronger trade happened, and I had to pack it up and go to Edmonton, and probably work even better for me because next year I made the NHL roster right away.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, being involved in one of the most high-profile trades of the decade, really,
Yeah.
with Pronger leaving Edmonton after the '06 Cup run, but then you joining in '06, '07, and then
Decade of yeah, of darkness.
well, yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do? There was ownership hassles and problems and all kinds of
Yeah.
things that contributed to it that were so prohibitive for the team and for player development and for any sort of acquisition prospect for the Edmonton Oilers from a management point of view. And I mean, you could say, "Wow, I missed it by that much."
Yeah, it is what it is. What, like I could be sour about it, but I still had a great time. I played in the NHL. I made some really good friends. I learned a lot. Nobody can take that away from me. And yeah, would I like to challenge for the Stanley Cup playoff? Sure, 100%. But it is a team sport. A lot of things has to now I know a lot of things has to fall into place for a team to be successful. It wasn't our time at that time. It is what it is, but like I said, I'm not sour about it. I had still a great time, played a bunch of games, so no regrets.
After that, the stint with the Oilers and a good run too. You were a fan favorite, and it's
I
like
enjoy.
you were saying that you gain the respect of the players on your team, the other players in the league, but you also gain the respect of the fans, especially fans in a hockey market like Edmonton that is so knowledgeable of the game.
And I appreciated that. I live here, and still people recognize me once in a while. And I love Edmonton. It's like a lot of hardworking people, kind of blue collar, if some might call it. But I was a hardworking guy. I was kind of blue collar defenseman. So I think that was the connection between me and the fan base. They appreciate it. yeah, they appreciated what I was bringing to the table. It wasn't nothing fancy, but like I said, I was there for my teammates. I don't have any regrets when it comes to my preparation for games, and I always tried my absolute hardest for the team.
There was you were almost part of a second trade of the decade too, with
Danny Heatley.
yeah, the possibility of going to who was it? Was it Lupul and Penner that were going to go?
No, I think Penner, and I want to say, wasn't Eberle or Cogliano, one of the young guys?
That's right, Andrew Cogliano.
Cox. I think Cox and Penner. Yeah, I got a phone call too. That was sometimes I forget about this one. Like I was in Czech and they called me that I might be getting traded, but it's really the ball is on Danny Heatley's side. And the next day I didn't hear anything back. And 2 days later, they finally told me that Danny Heatley turned it down, right? He had a no trade clause. But it was kind of weird going to the camp for the upcoming season because I was like, well, they didn't want me, but now I understand it's just a business. If you want to get your team better, you're going to do whatever it takes. It's just business. But as a player, you're looking at it, oh, they don't like me and blah, 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 hurt feelings, right? But you just have to have a thick skin in this business. It's you cannot be super emotional, super attached, which it's kind of hard. Like after I played 7-8 years with the Oilers, right? And then eventually I got traded anyways. But at that time I was just kind of like still a little bit younger, and we stay put. I actually met Danny Heatley a bunch of years later at a wedding, and we had a great laugh about it. He's like, I was never coming to Edmonton. So it was funny.
You talk about the emotional aspect of a trade, and it is difficult to understand at that point that you are an asset, a piece of value, like a value thing, in order to acquire value. Say we're willing to give up this value for that value, which we are in need of. We might have excess of Ladi value kind of thing with maybe another guy that's developing or something. So I can see how that would be difficult. And yeah, your feelings get in the way of stuff, and it's especially being a younger guy. You were still young.
Yeah, but I was still young, and now I'm talking from experience, right? Now it's easy for me to say, but like you mentioned, like when you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh, so the coach doesn't like me, the GM doesn't like me, and blah blah blah. That's not the case. Yeah, sometimes it happens, right? But I hope there's not that many people that wish you something bad or anything, right? They're just trying to do what's best for the team. Just like me as a dad, I'm trying to do what's best for my kids or for my wife. And it's not always going to be super popular decisions or, for other people, but that's what it is. You're trying to look after yourself, and that's just the business in the NHL. At the end of the day, we're players, right? Yeah. I don't want to say piece of meat, but we are players. So if there is something you can get, like you said, improve your team, and you have like 2-3 players who are, kind of the same players, you're expendable. So you're going to try to trade for the guy you need, actually, right?
I always wonder how people feel when, and I know it happens a lot if people are RFAs or free agents or, toward the end of their career, and there's a trade involving a conditional 3rd-round draft pick. I always think, Jesus, that's the last thing I would want to get traded for.
I know. But it is what it, like, again, it's business, right? But yeah, that's a tough one. Like towards the end of your career, yeah, that's all right. But when you're a young guy and like they're just trying to get rid of you or your money, yeah, that kind of stings.
Yeah, and then you ended up going to the Calgary Flames in exchange for, among others, Laurent Brossoit.
Yeah. That was a tough one. That's not gonna lie. We were in Philadelphia, and I got a phone call. I kind of knew that something might be going on, that I might be getting possibly traded. My agent gave me a heads up, but I wouldn't have guessed it would be to Calgary Flames. And McT called me. I actually saw McT today in the parking lot randomly. So I really like Mac. But I was mad at him at that day. On that day, I was really mad at him because, he calls me. He's like, we made a trade, like you're gonna be leaving, and he wouldn't tell me where. I'm like, so where am I going? It's like Calgary Flames. So I dropped a bunch of F-bombs right away. I was like, oh my God, man. Like Calgary Flames, like come on. But Brian Berg, who was my GM in Anaheim, who traded me to Oilers, he was a president of hockey operations. So there was a connection there. So I think Oilers were trying to unload my contract to bring some other players. And yeah, it happened to be Calgary Flames. It was as weird as you can imagine, walking into that locker room for the first time, first day. It was kind of weird for, like, say, first 2 weeks until you get to play some games, practices, and then you start to joke around. The guys get to know you. But yeah, there was a bunch of guys, like, it was hate, right, back then against Calgary Flames. Again, fives. Oh my God. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, it was my son ringing the doorbell. Ringing my doorbell. Can you grab her, please? Yeah. But walking in, there was, like, Mark Giordano was one of the guys, and I fought him, like, the year before. I fought him, and, like, walking in the locker room, it was just, like, awkward. Everybody staring at me, or I thought that everybody stared at me. I was ripping it into everyone, right? Like when I played on the Oilers, like, it was, sometimes it was almost offside, but like I said, 2 weeks, kind of awkward. Then you get to play with the boys and you go out for a beer or a dinner, and, like, it's all forgotten. Again, it's part of the business. After that, everybody was super helpful. Guys were super professional. And yeah, I like my time in Calgary from that standpoint. Like, I built some relationships, some friendships. Hockey wise, it wasn't that great. I had a bunch of injuries. I had to have not a neck surgery, and yeah, maybe Oilers dodged the bullet there because I, like I said, I had to have another surgery. When I came back, I wasn't the same. I needed additional time. I had to basically retire from the NHL because of the injury. I didn't play hockey for a year and a half, and then when I could come back, I chose to go back to my hometown, play back in Czech where it all started. But it wasn't easy. But I love the city of Calgary. I have friends there, but we chose living here in Edmonton for obvious reasons. Like, I have more connections here, more friends. Hockey is big here. I'm gonna say I like the people in Edmonton a bit better than Calgary people too.
The other players that I can think of, something I probably should have looked this up, but I can think of Steve Stais.
Yes.
Played for the Oilers and the Flames. Milan Lucic.
Yeah.
Oilers and Flames. You.
James Neal, I think. No, he got traded too. Or no,
who did?
Neal? What was his name?
Oh, that's right.
Neal?
Yeah.
That's Brett Kulak.
Kulak, Laurent Brossoit.
Yeah, Brossoit. It might be it. No,
I don't know. There's probably 24 or something like that. Guys that we don't.
I think I think no, I don't think. Isn't it like 8 to 10 players? Like, there's not that many.
Well, it's
especially through the trade, or like the trade, like signing, but through a trade, not that many. And let me tell you, it's awkward. It is awkward at first. Like, I don't think the rivalry is the same anymore. Like, when it was back then. It got reignited a little bit, but when Cassian was here and Kachuk on the other side, it got a little crazy. But now it's like, again, all about the hockey. I don't think there's that much hate. Maybe there's a little bit of hate between the fan bases. Like, I have some friends who are, like, die-hard Flames, and they just wish nothing but the worst for the Oilers. Unfortunately, I have to knock so far. Like, right now, we are the better team, so I can laugh at them. I don't want to laugh too much because I don't know how long that run's going to last. I hope for a long time so I can shove it in their face. But yeah, there is like, I don't wish anything bad on anyone. So, like, when Calgary is doing well, like, I'm okay with that. But obviously, I cheer for the Oilers. That's my team. But, like, people just wish the worst things for the Oilers players. Even my good buddy. It's like just the worst. He doesn't wish us anything good, any luck in the playoffs, nothing. It's crazy to me. It's like exhausting mentally for me just to listen to him.
You talked about your injuries and the things that led to you basically having to retire from the NHL, but you did play some games for Calgary in the 2015-2016 season. Did you play against Connor?
I played some games. I think maybe one game I play against him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Thank God. Only one or none. Thank God, because otherwise I would probably end up on the highlights. The skill level now, it's crazy. I keep telling everyone, it's like people are asking me, it's like, oh, would you love to still be able to play in the NHL? I was like, no, not really anymore. I had my time, great, but now the skill set on some guys, like watching, Connor or Leon or McKinnon, these guys, it's like next level crazy what they're able to do with the speed and stick handling and the shots. It's nuts. It's nuts, but it's good for a game of hockey for the fans. That's how it should be. The game of hockey should be evolving. Players should be evolving, trying to find the different ways to get better. But like I said, I'm just happy. I'm not. I'm just happy. I'm not on those highlights.
When you were playing the 9-10 years, who were the guys that you went up against that you were, oh, geez, I don't know if I want to be out there.
You know what? Sedins, they haunt me. Until now, those were never fun games against the Sedins. They were just monsters out there. They knew exactly where the other guy is. You could have thrown anybody on that line, Kessler, Burroughs, and like those are really good players, don't get me wrong, or Pyatt, and they would all score 30, 40 goals. Like it was a nightmare to play against those guys. Iginla obviously play a lot of games against him. I fought him too. He was tough matchup. As soon as he got mad, like he would have a fight goal, like Gordie Howe hat trick. Casual night for Iggy. Like super nicest guy ever off the ice, on the ice, just a beast. I have a lot of respect for him. Then you like obviously like Ovechkin, Crosby, but they were in the Eastern Conference. So here, like Getzlaf, Perry, Bobby Ryan line, awful to play against them, right? Like just three big super skilled guys. They all could score, extremely physical. They would wear you down. Yeah, these kind of three teams, like I would say number one, Sedins, Iggy, and then that line from Anaheim. Like that would be like a hard matchups for us.
I remember talking with Luke Richardson back in the day, and he told me there was one of those goofy stories where something goes horribly, hilariously wrong while you're out doing a shift. And what had happened was he had a hairstyle at the time where he would brush it all back and then put his helmet on and then go out and play. But he got his helmet knocked off one time, and this new hairstyle, he was skating up the ice and flipped around to turn backwards to start playing D at the center line or whatever, and all of his hair blew into front of his face where he couldn't see anything, and they just blew past him and he couldn't even see. And I still remember that funny story to this day. Do you have a hilarious faux pas or something that happened one shift that something sticks out?
I don't know if hilarious, but I remember we had a meeting with MacD, and he was like showing a D zone coverage, and like he keeps talking D zone coverage, like we have to get better and blah blah blah. But look at Ladi, and he shows the clip. I don't know who we play. I think Calgary, and there was a puck in a corner, and we were just like battling each other, cross checking each other with the other player. The puck was long gone. Like I'm talking about 15, 20 seconds in the other zone, and we were still going at it. We thought that somebody has the puck in their skates, and Mekti is like, this is exactly how we should play the D zone coverage. This is how it's done. And like the puck was nowhere to be found. Like the referee was like yelling from the neutral zone. It's like, hey, you idiots, just the puck is on the other side. Wake up. So like we had to skate. Like guys were just laughing, dying. The other thing was we play Islanders afternoon, or like I think it was like a noon game. And again, like I remember who was the player. Somebody from their fourth line. He was running around like a crazy maniac. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of him. I went to challenge him. He's like, okay, let's go. So I threw the glass. I was like, noon game. I was like, let's make it a show. Center circle. Throw my gloves and stick everywhere. Because I had a visor, I threw my helmet up, and he didn't. So they went into our zone. They was like 5-on-4 playing power play. Meanwhile, I was like collecting my items. Like one glove was left, one glove right, stick, helmet, and then, like everybody's like laughing at me. I was like so embarrassed. But like the guy was like in trouble from our team. Like they were like making fun of him that he won't even square off against a European guy or whatever. But I felt like the biggest idiot because like I had to collect all my stuff, then rush back in our zone and help the boys out while they were playing shorthanded. I was like, oh my god.
How was it? You mentioned after your injuries, you had to basically retire from the NHL, and then when you officially retired, you got to retire in your home country. What did that mean to you, if anything, compared, like just to take it back where you learned it all?
Meant everything to me. Like honestly, I always in my head I had that I didn't want to retire in the NHL. I always wanted to retire playing for my hometown and especially in front of my family. And it happened. It didn't happen how I wanted to, but it happened. And I had 5 years. Again, I should have probably quit hockey a little bit before that because I had two more surgeries, my lower back and neck, and no, but it was what it was. I had a great time. But the one thing like I enjoyed the most was that I was able to bring that experience from the NHL and I could be the mentor to the younger guys. Again, like we had a lot of young guys. They usually pair me up in a deep pair with a young guy. I could help him. I could share my experience. I wasn't always easy on them. They had it really hard, but if they were working hard, I was there for them. So that was the best thing for me, just sharing the experience, being the mentor. Like I mentioned, Yaro Modri, when he came during the lockout, he was mentor to me, and it made a big difference in my hockey life and my hockey career. I was trying to do that for the young guys in Czech, and I had a great time. I met some new players, I met some coaches, and like last year, I coached the World Juniors, under 20, and I don't know if it would happen if I wouldn't have that relationship with the head coach from the World Juniors because the World Junior head coach was my head coach my last 3 years in Czech. So I had that connection, and when they were looking for a D coach, he called me, and so again, very thankful I got to know him and he helped me in my coaching career now, and he's still helping me. He doesn't have to do it, but that's how it works, right? Like you're a young player. You're a young player. Hopefully, there is a mentor who's going to help you. Then you become the mentor. You're trying to help the young guys. Then you quit hockey or you retire. Hopefully, you have some relationship with the coaches who can help you and get you prepared for your next step in your career. And like I'm lucky enough I have those people in my life.
And now, as development coach with the Oil Kings, you carry on with that tradition and helping out the young guys coming up. They're anywhere from 15 to 20 years of age. Beyond the Oil Kings, as a development coach, do you have aspirations to become a CHL head coach or maybe an AHL or even keep learning and going into the NHL?
Yes, I have my goals. I have my dreams, just like I had them when I was a little kid. But right now with the young family, it's hard. But of course, I wouldn't have started coaching if I wouldn't have these goals in my head. And I don't think I want to be head coach, to be honest. But I really enjoy coaching defense and working with them and making those connections. I had the blast doing the World Juniors and communicating with the guys who were on our radar or on our roster, watching their games, then calling them and kind of like I wanted to like obviously you cannot be like super friend with them or you're still the coach, but you can be friendly as an assistant of the coach, right? As a head coach, there's got to be more separation. I don't really like them. I like to be like a little bit their friend. They can like open up to me. We can be really open. We can joke around. When it's time to work, it's time to work. But I need them to trust me, right? And I don't think you can really do that to that extent as a head coach. But as a D coach, I really want to evolve and like learn in that area. And yes, like when the kids are a little bit older, I would like to get some more serious coaching jobs, like maybe CHL. You have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's a long hours, a lot of travel, but you want to start somewhere. When like I said, when the kids are older, I'm very open to it because that's something I really enjoy.
Ladi, I appreciate your time today. I know you got a house full of activity going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the barking and
No,
all the
that's
craziness.
totally
That's the
fine.
regular day at Smiid's house.
Life happens, and I understand it completely. I don't know if a dog needs a walk, or the kids need to go to another something, dance or whatever. But I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for talking to me today.
Thanks for having me, Terry. I had a blast. Great time. I'll see you on Thursday.
Reluctantly.
This podcast reluctantly sponsored by homegirls.ca, a top producing team at Remax Professionals, and thompsonmortgages.com. They take care of the financials. You search for your perfect home. If you're searching for a home in the Edmonton area, please use both of these fine sponsors.
Reluctantly.